Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. This is Chris.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Hey, who is this?
I'm just wondering, I'm going back to school, right?
Yeah?
And I'm wondering what kind of computer I get. I want to get a Mac or a Windows XP. Vista, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm wondering what should I get. Like, what's better for running through schools and, like, programs and stuff.
Oh. What's your handle in the chat room?
Actually, I just logged off the chat room right now.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I just walked up and I'm kind of just calling in to ask.
It's okay. I'm sorry, I'm not rubbing my eyes because it's just out of frustration. It's just this is such a difficult question to answer. You know, I can tell you that. Do you want to hear the trend? I can tell you the trend,
Sure.
and upon that, you can base your own. You can make your own decisions. The trend for Vista is that a lot of people are recommending. In fact, I heard this is an unconfirmed rumor, but 25% of Microsoft MVPs, now these are people that Microsoft elect as community representatives for their products, 25% are recommending that people hold off on Windows Vista until Service Pack 1 is released. And it's looking as though that's not going to happen until the beginning of next year. So most laptops, if you go to the store and buy something off the shelf today, come with Windows Vista. And that may be a cavalcade of problems that you don't want to necessarily introduce yourself to. One way around it, of course, is buying the laptop with a Vista license and then just wiping it and installing XP in the interim, if you already have a copy of XP, or if you can probably still go out and buy a copy of XP for the time being.
Okay.
That is, so just to let you know, I mean, I'm not going to recommend Vista outright. I follow that the mindset that I don't think it's going to be ready until Service Pack 1.
Okay.
Now, another thing you might want to watch out for is the specials that are going to be running this time of year. Plenty of back-to-school specials, where you can save hundreds of dollars on any kind of product, or in some cases get a free printer or free music device or something like that. What do you plan on doing with that computer?
Well, mostly for high school, projects, organizing, and mostly gaming, too.
Yeah, gaming. Gaming's going to start running you up in dollars, because you're going to want to get if you want a good gaming system. Now, I'm sorry, you're talking about a laptop specifically?
Yeah, laptop.
A gaming laptop is going to have, well, number one, a wonderful screen, and then number two, a great video card to kind of go with it. Now, as far as which kind of video card to get, you know, ATI or NVIDIA, if I had to choose between the two right now, I'd go ATI over NVIDIA. Why? Or was it?
Pardon?
Did you ask why?
Oh, no, I said okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's my personal preference, because I've had nothing but problems with NVIDIA in Windows Vista. Their driver model hasn't matured yet. I've heard more people have better luck with ATI than NVIDIA in Vista. But I don't really have a brand necessarily to recommend, because really a lot of the OEMs are, I'm not going to say they're the same. There's certain, I think if you want the total configuration, I think Dell has a leg up on that. Dell has a stronger community. They also have a very good support policy. But it was just released today, and a full disclosure, it was just released today that their earnings were much larger because they went with cheaper components, which really concerns me. Because when it comes to computers and hardware, I've learned that typically the more you pay, the better off you're going to be. Now, leading into that, I'm going to make a bold prediction and ask you, have you ever thought about getting a Mac?
Either or, because my dad has a Mac, and he mostly uses it for work, and he says it runs perfectly for that, but I don't know if it could, like, hold, because I'll be, like, downloading games and stuff.
All right, so
And I usually like make movies and stuff.
sure. Well, the great thing is, Boot Camp right now is in beta, but when Leopard is released here in another month or so, it will be full on baked into the operating system, and it's a product that will allow you to create a separate partition on your hard drive and install Windows, whether it's Vista or XP, to that partition. And then essentially, if you wanted to, you could wipe out OS 10 and just use your Mac as a Windows machine. And the nice thing is
Okay.
people have been raving about it. They said, the MacBook has been the best PC they've ever owned. I know plenty of people at Microsoft who've said this. I said, well, you've got a MacBook. Do you ever run OS 10? He's like, nah, why? Vista works great. I'm like, Vista works better on a Mac than it does on a traditional OEM machine. And
Okay.
largely because the drivers that Apple's been developing to work on the hardware have been fully optimized. Now, here's where it gets cool. The new MacBooks basically boot from EFI versus BIOS. And basically, what does this mean? Well, it's essentially a different way of the hardware communicating with the operating system. And Windows Vista Servers Pack 1 is going to support EFI firmware. It's going to be legacy, still relying on BIOS, which, by the way, I think was the late 70s is when the BIOS was created in a non-standard way. EFI was created in a standard, making it easier for the hardware layer to communicate with the software layer. And it's good to see EFI is taking hold, and I'm glad that Microsoft is going to be releasing support for EFI in Vista Service Pack 1. So you will be able to run Vista or XP natively on a MacBook or on an iMac. iMacs are just as good. They're going to be a little more pricey, but you know what? It's good hardware. Do you want to? If you want to skimp on your hardware, by all means, that's your prerogative. But if you want something that's going to perform well, and believe me, if you've got a gaming machine, you want performance, I'm going to recommend a Mac. I have no choice. I literally have no choice but to recommend it.
Okay, thanks.
So ultimately, you've got to make the decision. But HP's got some great stuff. They're coming out with new designs. Dell's got solid hardware as well. Alienware's got great gaming laptops. But I'm telling you, it's just the trend. This is where I said I'm going to tell you about the trend. The trend is people are picking up MacBooks like you would not believe.
Oh, okay. That's great, thanks.
It's no problem.
And I got a question. When you're typing on the chat,
Yeah?
it says error. Yeah, like sometimes when you type, it says error. I don't know if it's my computer or...
No, it's not your computer. What we do there is if people are acting silly when we're recording videos, we basically flip a moderated bit, so you have to have voice in order to be heard in the chat room. So that way we lower the bozo barrier. I guess we raise it.
Okay.
Bozo. We apply the bozo filter. I'll leave it there. But anyway, no, everybody's got, this is such a difficult question for me to answer because there's no right way of answering this question. Price is a factor. Performance is a factor. I mean, everybody's going to have a different idea, but hopefully, giving you the trends, giving you some, painting some broad strokes will hopefully help you make a decision that's ultimately going to work for you. And that's the thing, and I've answered this question before, and I'm sure I'll answer it again at some point in the future. But I'm interested in hearing what everyone else has to say. Specifically, with this particular question, what laptop would you recommend for a high schooler? Good price, good performance, good support, good hardware, good software, and if you have a specific model or brand, by all means, recommend it. We'll always take recommendations. I'm sure people are going to come into the chat room and ask these questions once every hour because we're around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and hopefully when you swing by, we're not moderated. And if you want to get voice in the chat room so you can talk when we are flipping the moderated bit, you just got to hang out on a regular basis. That's all you got to do. You don't beg for voice. You just kind of hang out, and you get to be known and as someone who isn't a bozo, and then we just let you talk anytime. But normally we let anybody talk. It's just when we record videos, we have to put the moderated bit on. Otherwise, people say some really nasty things, and we don't like that. We don't like nasty people. But you're not a nasty person, are you?
Pardon?
You're not a nasty person, are you?
No, actually, no, I was just watching a few minutes ago that you're doing a voice chat with that other guy, and that idiot with that sending that key, and he screwed up.
Oh, yeah.
I was laughing at that, but
Yeah.
it kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's okay. So what's your handle in the chat room?
Stefan, Stefan.
All right. Well, if you want to meet Stefan or anybody else, there's only one URL you got to go to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what is that?
Pardon?
Live.Pirillo.com. We'll see you later.
Oh, no, okay, I was going to say that, but I didn't hear you. But yes, yeah, I'll be on hopefully every day.
Okay, I'll give you a chance. What's the URL?
Pardon?